my buddy Dylan pays $7,500 for 1 hour one-on-one with Grant Cardone. And he says, hey, we're going to start a sales training company. This is late 2017.
A lot of sales backgrounds. You're seeing like the harder you work, the better you're going to get. And that's one of the things we could dive into certainly as well, is that there's a problem with these salary positions because you're always capped out. And even these bonuses sometimes don't even really make sense and how they even calculated. And where's the majority of the bonus going? And it's just great to see you learned very early on that the harder you work, the more you're going to get paid. But what made you start transitioning some of that into real estate?
Okay, so while I was at Fortune Builders, what they would encourage is taking the money you make and then buying passive rentals. So single family homes through what they called the Passive Income Club, which they were really just white labeling Memphis Invest and Jacksonville Wealth Builders. Still a really good vehicle, right? Because you're getting 4 forms of income from it. You're getting cash flow, depreciation, the tenants are paying down the mortgage, and appreciation. And so as I'm seeing this system kind of scale and I'm calculating the rate at which I'll hit my goals, it's another decade at that company. And I'm like, man, there's got to be a faster way. So a good buddy of mine, Dylan Marma, and I decide that, look, we're really good at sales. Like, we've mastered our craft here. And we're at a point where we're probably working 65 hours a week. Like, it's tough to go a little bit more than that consistently. And we're kind of at the top income wise. So we're looking for that next jump. So my buddy Dylan pays $7,500 for 1 hour one-on-one with Grant Cardone. And he says, hey, we're going to start a sales training company. This is late 2017. So he flies from San Diego all the way to Florida and meets with Grant. And Grant says, hey, son, if I was your age and I could do it all over again, I would have skipped sales training and went straight into multifamily real estate. If I could do that, I'd be a billionaire instead of a millionaire. The only question is how many times over. And at that stage, right, we weren't even millionaires. So that was definitely the goal. So when he said that, our eyes opened up real wide and we're like, holy crap, this is the way to go. So at that point, we met and had lunch with Than, who's also a uber successful person, right? Both him and Grant at the time had 9-figure net worths. And Than says something similar. If I could do it all over again, I would have skipped residential and went straight to commercial. So at that point, we decided that commercial real estate, specifically multifamily investing, was the vehicle that we were going to go to next to really step our game up.
Do you think that Than and Fortune Builders was offering basically the Memphis Invest, the invest in single family home model because it was easier to digest for most people and it seemed more like a regular commodity, as multifamily seemed a little bit too out there and harder for, I guess, typical salespeople to want to invest in that? Do you think that's why that was the product they offered? Or they just loved multifamily so much they kept it for themselves because it is that great of a vehicle?
I think it's where they started, right? I don't think they held back a product, but I think it's where single family is kind of where they started in the world they knew about. And if you look at where they're at today, they actually sold that company, Fortune Builders, and they're full-time in commercial real estate investing. So when Than spoke those words late 2017, his actions stay true to him because that's what those guys are doing is commercial real estate investing full time right now.
I didn't know that. I didn't know they switched over.
Yeah.
Good for them. That makes sense. I think we learned that pretty early on ourselves.